Ooh. I'm sure you're all wondering what I've been up to these past few weeks, but I mean, you should know the answer by now. Making very poor financial decisions. I'm also aiming to make my video process more efficient. Up until now I would build a set, take the pictures, and put it away. But now I'm working on building the sets preemptively to save time. I was also going to buy a laptop so I didn't have to lug my PC setup to a different room to record my voice lines, as I can't exactly do that right next to my wife. What's up guys, I spent £2,000 on a transformer this week.
What?
But all of a sudden I can't really afford one. But on to the video. I want you to think of some of the most challenging things in life. Maybe it's buying your first house, staying in contact with school friends, maybe it's your job working in a mine or an oil rig. All good answers, but I'm afraid they don't come close to collecting little plastic men. I kid you not, it took me around 8 months to get my grubby yellow hands on the interactive crotchbot, and that's all thanks to regional exclusives. It's not so much of a problem these days thanks to LEGO announcing in 2019 to stop regional exclusives, but if we go back in time to the 80s and 90s, it wasn't uncommon for certain, often small sets to be US exclusive, like my robot friend over here. Some more examples of regional exclusives I've found are sets like 1906, Magisto's Tower, 6099, Traitor's Transport, 1787, Crater Cruiser, 1492, Battler Cove, or if you want to see something really expensive, 1680 Crusader Cart. This one's actually UK exclusive, and it's exactly the same as this other set, except you get one extra bloke. You might be shocked to learn that an entire space sub-theme was US exclusive. Titled Robo Force, this sub-theme consists of 4 sets, centered around large robo-mechs. We have the Robo Raider, the Robo Raptor, the Robo Stalker, and who could forget the Robo Master. To my surprise, they're actually rather cheap when compared to many of the other regional exclusives, clocking in at around 150 quid to buy brand new, which for a set that's almost as old as me, it's actually rather cheap. Especially if we compare it to a certain small archer from the Castle line that can take you a couple of months to find thanks to it not only being a US exclusive, but also a value pack exclusive. Oh yeah, it's expensive. While on the topic of value packs, this is another form of frustrating exclusives. LEGO was once a big fan of bundling smaller sets together. Sometimes they would be sets you could individually buy, and other times they would give you the LEGO bird and create an entirely new and exclusive set. One of the worst things about the value pack is they would often include other themes, so no matter what vintage theme you're into, you're bound to come across what is truly the Dark Souls of LEGO hoarding. One thing to note is that if you're a heathen and you don't care about the precious cardboard box, then almost all of these exclusives are exceptionally easy to get your hands on. But for the more civilized folk that aren't afraid to skip meals and get locked out of the house, we have to deal with not being able to buy specific landfill at the push of a button, and go on a months-long eBay refreshing grind to acquire a small set and say, neat, only to never see it again. I think it's time we move on to some of the most expensive pieces of plastic known to man. If you're a comic book or superhero fan who also happens to love LEGO and hasn't won the lottery yet, then you have nothing but my sympathy as we turn our gaze to the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Spider-Man. Every year a large group of people gather together to celebrate a shared love for guys in tight spandex and convoluted backstories. But if you move past all the Deadpool cosplayers, you'll find LEGO raffling off some of the rarest figures around. The prices of these are absolutely out of control, with most fetching at least around £1,000. Sadly, it's not just comic book fans that have to worry either, as some other themes have been done dirty. Personally, I own the 2 LEGO movie exclusives, but you can also find Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Hobbit, and even Stranger Things. Weirdly enough, these Hobbit ones aren't actually exclusive, appearing in retail sets that you could buy off the store shelf, or other promotions like the DVD box set. Promotional exclusives have come in all different shapes and sizes over the years. One of the more recent ones is the Blue Milk Luke Skywalker that came with the LEGO Star Wars Saga video game. But even back in 1997, LEGO was introducing special figures with video games with the LEGO Infomaniac, which came with copies of LEGO Island in the US. Store exclusives are another interesting one. When a new LEGO store opens, more often than not there'll be an exclusive set to celebrate the occasion. Take for example this basketball player for the Orlando Park store in 2009, or the Brick Apple for the Rockefeller Center store in New York in 2010. It was all harmless fun until they started creating yet again exclusive minifigures for these events. Here's one from Manchester in the UK. One of the most recognisable promotional LEGO exclusives though has to be the May the 4th Star Wars sets. It started in 2011 with the Shadow ARF Trooper, and each year since they've either released a special figure, or more recently mini-scale builds like the 2023 Death Star 2. I think the best one so far though has to be the Darth Riven fig. He's just not so good for your wallet. It's not uncommon for LEGO to go off the deep end a little and create exclusives for some of the most random products you could imagine. Here's a car that's a promotional release in the Netherlands that came with bread. Or again from the Netherlands, we have a set that came with soap powder. The very cursed Belleville lineup featured a rather sweet exclusive in Denmark and Australia to celebrate the Danish royal wedding in 2004. If you lived in Canada in 1985, then you had the lucky chance to own this mail truck, which was a promotional exclusive for the Canadian Post. Another type of exclusive we see each year is a LEGO employee gift set. Right around the holiday season, all the LEGO employees get a neat promotional set as a thank you for all their hard work. Some of them fetch a hefty sum these days, like the Star Wars X-Wing, but with so many people employed at LEGO, they aren't exactly too hard to find even today. One type of exclusive that is difficult to locate though are the LEGO Insider Tour sets. I'm not 100% sure on how these things work, but from my understanding a select group of people get an inside tour of LEGO headquarters, and at the end they're gifted with an exclusive LEGO set. It's rather rare, but sometimes they end up on the aftermarket and oh boy. If you thought me buying the SDCC, Indiana Jones or Cloud City was bad, get a load of these prices. And this brings us to present day. We're starting to see LEGO dabble more into FOMO, which stands for fear of missing out. It's a tactic I'm sure you're all familiar with if you've ever played any kind of online game. Buy this cheeky recoloured skin of my LEGO butt before we remove it from the store, in 24 hours. LEGO does this under the guise of gift with purchase. Sometimes it's a small gift set and other times it's a remake of a beloved set or theme like these two. Now I'm a simple man. I like to go to the LEGO store and purchase the specific children's toys I want. So it's really frustrating to not be allowed to give LEGO my hard-earned money for a new space set. One good thing though is unlike game skins, these exist in the real world. And because of that, resellers exist. I managed to pick up these fellas for 25 quid each on my beloved eBay. So take that LEGO, and I'll see you next month, as I happily give you more money and become part of the problem. There's so many different types of promotional and exclusive sets that we could talk about them all day, but I'm sure you're all wondering what exclusives your boy owns. Well, let's go through a few. We have the robot I can't stop talking about and the small archer that I happily paid way too much for. The Brickmaster Indiana Jones SDCC set, which was 100% worth sleeping on the couch for. A two-man spaceship. The Blacktron Beast. A rather small boat. Remember back in the day when I dropped this line? The only time I question my religious box collecting is with sets like these. While this is indeed a box that contains LEGO, it has 3 sets all in the same one, so it's like a shared accommodation. And for some reason, that makes it less important for my monkey brain. Well, it turns out that was a lie, as I own these two. The 2 SDCC LEGO Movie Unikitties, the Ninjago Temple of Celebrations, a couple of Nexo Knight sets, and a whole collection of Shell promotional sets, which sadly include LEGO Town and Technic. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching, fellas. Let me know your opinion on exclusives in the comments. And in case you missed my community post, I'm now uploading once every fortnight. As much as I don't want to do it, I just can't keep up with doing weekly uploads. I am trying to put things in place to make my creation process more efficient, so hopefully in a few months we can revert back to the old schedule. But I'll be seeing you next time, fellas. Take care.